Hello and welcome or welcome back. Today we're just going to be trying something a little different again, so it's not really crazy different, I guess, at this point, but we're going to just be talking about John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars while some Toxic Commando is on in the background. And if you know me, it's just mostly just chill BSing. We're just hanging out and talking about a movie. So nothing nothing, we're not doing no deep dives or anything like that. We're just going to be talking about a movie that's underrated in my opinion. I mean, it's gotten a lot of crap over the years, but then also I've also was reading about it not too long ago here, and it's saying that there's like a cult following now because of the blending of genres. People could appreciate it now. I think I was like 10 or 11 when this movie came out. I was like, I liked it when I was a kid. I watched it like 10 years later, and I was just like, all right, it's all right. It wasn't as good as I remember it being. And then I watch it now, and I could appreciate it. But instead of me just talking about this, I'll stop rambling about this crap, and we'll start rambling about the movie. But before we begin, if at any point you guys enjoy the video, if you would just like, subscribe, share it, I don't know, it really does help. I'm a tiny little channel. I can use all the help I can get, but I hate asking for subs like this, especially because it's like, come on now, you know, you haven't really watched the video, you can't really judge it. But but I don't know, it's part of the game. I'm sure you understand. But I appreciate you being here regardless. We'll get right into it. All right. Well, the movie starts and it's kind of just gives a little bit of exposition. Earth is whatever, and we're on Mars now, and the year is 2176, and they've been terraforming for I don't know how long. It's 84% terraformed, so it's like close, I guess, to Earth's atmosphere, but they have to still have like a little breather that they can use every now and then. I don't know. It's really goofy how it is, but I mean I like the movie. I have to admit I do enjoy the movie, but some of the things in it are very very goofy. But you know what? It has a really good cast in it, so that's something that saves it. We got what's her damn name? It's Natasha Henstridge. She's she's one of them from back in the day. She's yeah. she's she's one of them. She's a woman, right? That's a woman. And then you got a little bit of Ice Cube in that shit. He plays like, I guess, what will the quote, the bad guy, you know what I mean? The bad guy that they're kind of talking about, but you know, he's just kind of he's just, you'll see. And you got Jason Statham. This is 2001. This movie came out in 2001. I forgot to say that. Yeah, well, at the same time, on brand. I'm a little, been hitting the Mary Janes a little bit. So, as usual, we keep it casual over here at the channel of mine. But yeah, Jason Statham, and he wasn't big then. Like obviously, 2001. Like he's been in a couple of things at that point, obviously, but I don't want to really look at. I mean, I could look it up right now and just give you guys all sorts of fucking stats and whatever, and get sidetracked and talk about that shit. But you know what? We're not gonna do that. But it's funny because you're watching the movie and like during like some of the action scenes, you're just like, damn, it's Jason Statham, dude. Like it's early, but you could see like the greatness coming with it. You know what I mean? Like he was always pretty good with like the action sequences. You know what I mean? The fighting sequences and shit like that. So like in this movie, that really kind of he really lends that, even though it was like 25 years ago, and it was before he was really doing all like I think when was a transporter. It's a couple years after that, I think. So like. So yeah, he really wasn't like his big action star. I'm pretty sure what was that one, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels? I think was around this time. I think, I don't know, and that was what like the movie before Snatch or whatever. I think they're in the same universe. I can't remember, but they're British movies. They're good. If you haven't seen them or heard of them, look them up. But anyway, I'm rambling on and on. It starts off like with all that stuff, right? And they have like a society going. Obviously, there's a main city, and then with the main city, there's like branching out using a train. There's like other towns like around it, and they use this big train or multiple trains. I don't know. You only see one of them, but to get in between them, obviously, and it's all right. You know how it works. The set's okay. The models that they use are pretty good because I'm assuming that's what it is. Is they're like model sets that they built, which is I like that. It's charming as fuck. I really do like that, especially when it looks good. This looks good. Some things like lack a little weight, but who gives a shit? Anyway, um, yeah. So it starts off at like the end of the movie. Like you see Natasha Henstridge. I'll just call her Natasha. But you see her handcuffed to like a bed, in bed pretty much on the train, right? Like she was, kept there, and she's the only one there. And as they're interrogating her, she starts telling the story of what happened. So like her and her team, they're cops, whatever Mars cops, right? And there's her, Jason Statham, their captain, who you would recognize. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, and I'm not looking it up right now. But you'd recognize her. And then a couple of rookies. Well, one of them is a woman that you would recognize too. I just read Clea Duvall. I think she was in The Faculty and a couple of other movies back in the day, and I think she's been working on and off sporadically since then. But yeah, no, she was bigger when I was a kid. Like I mean, and she was never really huge, but like supporting character, supporting actress. She was always pretty good at it. But she's in it. She lasts a while. I like it. I like the rookies are good. Usually the rookies are annoying or incompetent. These are good rookies. Like the one thing that you can't crap on this movie for is bad casting and bad acting, because it's all in my opinion, the acting is good, the casting is great. The sets are pretty good. Everything about it is pretty good. It's just a little goofy of a movie when it comes down to it. It's funny when like you call it a bad movie to John Carpenter. Like if you ask him, "Oh, you're bad movies," he'll tell you to go fuck yourself. And then you know what? I respect that. This isn't I wouldn't call this an awful movie. I keep getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. I mean, like I said, that's why I say that's why I like, say that this is all casual, man. We're just chilling. But anyway, I will move on. They're telling the story. They're going to a mining town, I believe, to pick up a criminal to transport him back to the main city for he committed murder, like a mass murder. Like what it was is he was somewhere, and he walks in. Like this is the actual story of what happened, not what they, we're gonna cut the shit here. He was like he was about to rob this fucking station or whatever, and he runs in, and there's like everybody's dead, hanging upside down, decapitated. So he's looking around, he sees a pile of money, he grabs the money, and then he leaves. And then he gets caught by the cops, right? So that's why he's in lockup in this mining town, because he got caught with that money, which was, I think, the payroll or something like that of the people of that town that he was at previously, that he took the money, where everybody was dead. So obviously they pitted the murder on him, all murders, the mass murder on him. So now he's waiting in lockup. And it's Ice Cube. He's chill as fuck in this movie. Like the guy's cold as ice. I didn't want to say that, but you know what? I couldn't fucking help myself. He's really good. I like him in this movie. He could be a little like fucking. Everybody could be a little hammy. Well, Natasha, not really. She's pretty straightforward. She's a really good actress. I don't know if you've ever seen her in anything. She's actually just a really good actress, and she's fucking smoking. Like that's a woman. To say that. But anyway, they get to this town, and there's just nobody around. Like they're just like, this is like, I think it was like Friday night. I don't know. Natasha goes on like I keep getting sidetracked, but she goes on this monologue where she's like, oh, everybody should be around in the streets, and it's really cool because it like fades in to like what it would look like, you know what I mean, if people walking around, then it fades out when she's done talking. Like it's one of those little things that you don't really see anymore in movies that are just like, it looks like kind of goofy now, I guess. But I don't know. I like that. I don't know. There's just something about these movies, like the older movies, that just hit different. But anyway, like because then in this movie there's like this is a flashback, and there's gonna be a flashback within a flashback telling another story. Like that's the kind of movie that it is. And if you really just if you stop paying attention for a couple of minutes, you might get lost. But it's not a very long movie, hour and a half. But anyway, I'll keep fucking going on. So they go to the like jail or whatever, and there's still nobody. They eventually get into the, let's see the timeline of events here. I don't want to like get things effed up here. I can't remember if like they start going out, like they go out, what is it? Jason Statham, the captain, and Natasha end up going out looking for something. I can't remember what it is. I don't know. That's why you guys got to watch the movie too. And they end up seeing a guy inside of a fucking like rover, like a vehicle, right? And he's like changing, he's turning, right? And then all of a sudden, like he's just like, "Don't open the door, don't let it out," type of like he's possessed, right? We know like he's possessed. They don't know this yet. And then he ends up just like cutting his own throat, cutting his own carotid, and he bleeds out and dies. And then they can't get the door open, but she knows what he said. But I don't know. It was a weird scene where she knows what he said, like, oh, he said something like this and that, and then she still wanted to open up the door, but they couldn't get the door open. I don't know. But, let's move past that. But the captain hears something, I think, is what it is, and she goes off by herself. This happens right before that. Okay, sorry, my timeline's a little bit fucked up, and like I said, that Mary Jane be hitting. And as they're doing that, they after that happens with the guy necking himself, Jason Statham and Natasha look at each other and they're just like, okay, well, Jason's just like, okay, well, you go back to the station and keep an eye on the rookies, and I'll go and look for the captain. So he goes off and he looks for the captain, and then it kind of like splits into two sides of the story, her side and his side. And I'm pretty sure what happens on her side is she goes back to the jail and they're able to get into like the like prisoner lockup area, or the cells. And there's three people locked up, three or four people locked in one of the cells, and they're just like regular, your people that you would throw in the drunk tank or whatever. They're not real bad criminals, and they're just people that fucked up and got thrown in jail. And that's where you find one scientist lady that's very ambiguous. You end up finding out that she was the one, like she ran a mine there that ended up letting out the fucking ghosts of Mars, essentially. You know what I mean? But like that right away, just the way that it's set up. And then I think she ends up talking to fucking Ice Cube too. I should have really fucking paid a little bit more attention. Maybe take notes. That's where it kind of gets confusing when I'm trying to remember it, is like all the fucking flashbacky stuff. But I guess that doesn't really matter. Like I said, this is chill. But anyway, let's go to Jason's side, because his is more interesting. That's why I remember his side more. But anyway, he sees, let's go back to that part where the mining scene, that guy necks himself and they split up. All right, Jason Statham's going to look for Captain. And as he's walking, looking forward towards the direction she was at, you see a woman holding something, running up a hill with like pikes where heads are fucking stuck up, And she's doing something. She puts a head on a pike and she's like praying or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's a warrior culture thing. And so Jason Statham walks up the hill after she runs away or whatever. He walks up the hill and he like goes down on his knees, and well, that's the captain's head. She lost a 1v1 against a little savage chick. I don't know what happened. I would have bet on the captain, but I don't know. Apparently she wasn't that good. Yeah, savages be savage, because these people, the aliens, like that they're possessed. They're like savage alien natives that don't want anybody fucking with their planet. That's essentially what it is. But anyway, Jason Statham he walks past the heads and goes to where the chick was running, and that's where like all of the what would you want to call them, possessed, are hanging out. They're like down where the mine is. But he's watching them, and that's where you see like fucking Dollar Bin Marilyn Manson wannabe their leader. I remember when I was a little kid, I associated him with Marilyn Manson just because of the way he looked. I don't know why. He doesn't sound like him at all. He doesn't really sound very intimidating at all, but he looks all right, But the voice, the sound, I don't know. That's always what got me. But he sees what's going on. He sees that they're changed, and what's crazy is like the way that they look. They like modify themselves. They get possessed. They like look at their hands all weird. Like you could tell that they're just like learning. And then all of a sudden they start to get aware, and then they start killing ones that aren't infected or not infected or possessed. And then like they start modifying their bodies, like sharpening their teeth, or like piercing their skin with shit. I don't know, maybe I'll put a picture or two up as like a reference, but like, yeah, modifying their bodies in like masochistic ways, I guess. So like it looks pretty. Some of them look pretty cool. Some of them look pretty corny. I remember one of the chicks has like a top, a bra, and it's two hands that she cut off and made into a bra holding their tits. I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was a good one. Anyway, yeah. So he starts to walk back. Well, I thought this was funny. He walks back, and he goes back to the captain. He goes and goes and kneels back by her head. And I thought that was funny. Like, why did he go there? Why didn't he just keep moving? To like radio back to Natasha and let them know like shit's hitting the fan and like this shit ain't right and this is what's da 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 da. And so then like he sees that the possessed people are starting to come towards him, which is really a funny part because he's running down a hill and they're coming on the other side, right? And he runs to a shed and starts kicking at the door, right? I mean, my point is the possessed people back would have seen him from a mile a fucking way and then heard the kicking, and they would have known he was there. So, I don't know. But anyway, he kicks on the door, and then all of a sudden 3 people open the door, grab him, take all of his shit, and, like, interrogate him. Like, who the fuck are you, yada, yada, yada. These are people that saw the shit hitting the fan, they dipped. They dipped into a fucking shed or something like that, and they've been hiding the whole time. So, like, they're pretty lucky. So, anyway, Jason takes them back to the station. And then shortly after, you find out that that's Ice Cube's gang. And they're there to get him out. Well, they get the drop on the cops, right? And then they go down into the cell. Then they reunite with their boss. But they all go into the cell. And she slips out and locks them in there. So they got their guns and all that other shit. But she's got them locked up, and they can't get out without her. So, like, they end up her and Ice Cube end up striking a deal that they'll work together to get the hell out of there. And through all this, you kind of you learn that Jason Statham is like a master of locks. Like he's like Jill, right? He's like Jill Valentine. He's the master of locks. So like but these are digital locks that he can hack and whatever, break, dismantle. So anywhere that they lock up and lock themselves in, like they got into a building and they're locking themselves into a building, he dismantles the lock. I don't know. And then, but they're still able to use the door. I mean, maybe he only did it to the front door, not the back door. Maybe that's what it was, because I don't know, it's weird. And yes, I am skimming through it a little bit. It's just chill. If anything, maybe you'll give the movie a chance, and you'll see it and watch it and enjoy it for what it is. I don't know. But, yeah, so what it is like they got dropped off. I skimmed past this part. Why this, this is important. They get dropped off at this mining town via train, and they have it set up with the conductor to come back at a certain time, because he has to go back. He has to go and turn around and then come back, which takes some time. What it is like Natasha and Ice Cube, the agreement that they came up with is they're going to work together, get to the train, and whatever, probably go their separate ways after that. That's kind of whatever the plan is, right? They're going to work together, get there. Well, they leave the station, right? And then they lose 1 or 2 people, whatever, because like obviously all the possessed or the native. I'm just gonna say possessed. They're throwing fucking like saw blades and shit. It's pretty cool. Like they throw saw blades and spears and everything like that. I don't know. They got I think 1 person in the initial run, but they're going to the train station. Well, the train ain't there, so now they're just like, what the fuck do we do now? Yeah, after they realize that the train ain't coming or ain't there yet, I think they go back to the station, and that's when they hold out again. And it's funny because Jason Statham went to go and he's been trying to bang Natasha the entire time, which is just hilarious. I love it. But he actually gets her in a back room. Like, he convinced her to come into a back room, and he's being all slick and shit. And he almost talked her into it. He did talk her into it. But then all of a sudden they hear a gunshot, and it's that rookie, the chick rookie, shot a possessed one. They had, out of the prisoners that were there, right? Like, that were initially there, the 4 people that were in that jail cell, one of them gets fucking possessed. So that one has been sitting there slowly going crazy, and you kind of like observing it, or not crazy, but you know what I mean. So you're observing him like mutilating himself and all this other shit. Well, the one rookie chick had enough of him and just shoots him. So that happens as Jason's about to get it in. I kind of felt bad for him. She cock blocked the fuck out of him. But but they go out there, and the spirit. Well, you kill it, right? You kill the person that's possessed, and the spirit goes into another person, right? But you can like lock the spirit in a closet. Like it can't really. I don't know. Like it was like that one was trapped in the vehicle. So like I think like because it wasn't that mine that it came out of. It was like in another mine, like in another town or whatever. So like the shit travels with the wind or whatever. I don't know. The ghosts travel with the wind. I don't know. They're weird. It's really kind of odd. But anyway, the one goes into Natasha, and one thing that I forgot to mention is that she's a drug addict. I don't know what, but she takes a pill and then she gets high. That's the whole thing. I don't know. And it's like psychedelic high. I don't know if I don't know. I don't do those kinds of drugs. I've never done those kinds of drugs. It'd be like, I don't know, is it just like intense fucking like Molly mixed with heroin or something? I don't fucking know. That's what it looks like. Just because it's like psychedelic on top of being all like, so I don't know. But it's funny because like they go out. Jason Statham and Ice Cube drag her outside. They're like, we gotta take her out back or take her outside. She's possessed, right? Because like there were those three people that were his gang. They end up getting taken out. That were Ice Cube's gang, right? Well, one of them was his brother. And as they're fighting to get back, I believe they were fighting to get back into the station after the train wasn't there, right? He gets possessed by one, and like he goes down on one knee, and he's all like, what is it, like that distant stare? So he's gone, and Ice Cube's like, get up, man. And he looks at him. He's like, ah, shit. He just walks away. He knows he's possessed. He lost his brother, right? And the one guy that they had in the group, it's funny as hell. He was a drug addict. Like he huffs nitrous pretty much, right? So he's a dumbass, and he's pretty funny in it. Like the guy slices his thumb off trying to be a fucking like G cutting open a can, like for a woman. He's like, hey, let me get this, sweetheart, and fucking slices his thumb off like a moron. Well, as they're fighting, he's trying to like throw a grenade or whatever, and like he drops it and goes for it, and he blows up like a dipshit. And then they had another guy that ends up eating a spear and dying after they drag him in. So all of those guys are gone. So like when they're dragging out Natasha, Ice Cube looks at JC. He's just like, I lost a brother in this. So it like hits a little bit. He's just like, come on, man. He was like, you were just trying to get it in, He's like, I lost a brother. This is a chick you were trying to fuck. You don't know this chick outside of that. Because they're all like new to each other. They didn't really know each other, I don't think. None of them. Maybe the rookies, but I don't think I think Jason was new to their crew. So, I don't know. But then like Jason Statham hands him a necklace that he stole off of Natasha. And he's just like, here, you might want to keep you want this or whatever, I don't know. And he was like, you know what this is? And Statham's just like, you know what this is? This is her stash. So he like clicks it, and a pill falls out. And as she's like on the ground, her eyes rolling back in her head, he pops the pill in her mouth, and he's just like, this will fucking knock anything out of her, yada yada. So that's when like they go inside, and she has like she's fighting the demon inside of her, essentially, I guess, or the possessed thing inside of her. But she's getting like a flashback. You see these things, what they are, like they're like. I don't even know. They look weird. I don't think I can find a picture of them, but they don't really look. They look like something out of a video game. Something like you would see in a video game. I don't know. They're like fucking. How would I be able to explain it like right off the bat? It's some CG steroid fish people thing. I don't know, man. Mix between that and like a Lord of the Rings troll, kinda. But small. It's weird, no nose, the eyes. Maybe I could find a picture, but they're not. That's not really too important. You kind of just see that they're like kind of just like a savage people that just don't want their planet fucked with by any outsiders. So that's essentially what it is. But then like she ends up fighting it and like throwing up the spirit, which is kind of funny. And then she kills one hand to hand. And climbs a fence to get back, or like, scales a fence to get back into the fucking police station. And I don't know. That's when the back door opens, and I was thinking earlier about the door locks and shit like that. But like, are you hurt? Anyway, she beat it. She's back with the group. And now their plan is I think the doctor lady, or no, this is a little bit later. That happens a little bit later. Now the next plan is to get to the train. So the one rookie chick climbs up, whatever, sees the train's there, and now they're going to head to the train. Well, They get to the train, they're heading back. Natasha's just like, no, we gotta fucking stop these things. And the doctor lady that let the things out to begin with, pretty much inadvertently, she didn't mean to, says we can take this. I think it's like a power plant thing. I don't even really remember. There's a lot. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. You've heard me say that a lot here. Um, there's a power plant that apparently they can wire up to explode. And it covered like a small nuclear bomb is what she says, like a 1 or 2 mile radius. It'll destroy them. It'll destroy the people, but you know, the spirits and other things. So, but they don't know. They're gonna take any sort of chance. So they get there, they're wiring it up, and they're using the train as like a diversion, just to distract the possessed whatevers. But then, as Natasha's standing outside staring at the leader, who's also on, who she set on fire, so now he's really pissed off because he's all burnt up. He looks right at her, and she just makes eye contact with him, and then she's like, "Oh, they caught us. Why weren't they inside? Why weren't they all inside hiding, like out of, or not hiding, but out of sight of them? You know what I mean? While Jason and the fucking lady are rigging up the bomb. I don't know. Jason had to pick the lock to get in, and she's got the, you know, the ability to, you know, overclock the thing to overclock the power station to blow up. I don't fucking know. But in all this, they after that they okay, as they're leaving, you know, because they're being attacked now, because you know Natasha made eye contact with wannabe Marilyn Manson, and the possessed are going after them. And they're running towards the train, right? And now the conductor's out fighting too, which is pretty funny. The guy that runs the train. There's 2 people that run the train. The other guy's in the train still. So at least there's somebody. I don't know. I just figured I'd make that clear. Because when the train conductor guy dies, they're throwing like the discs or like the saw blades, and they're just kind of bouncing off of his like limbs, like his shoulders and his like his knees, like the outsides, and he just falls over. I'm like, I don't know why they didn't just like kill that guy, because they've already. Like, the one guy rookie, back when they were getting back into the station, as he was protecting them, like, he gets his arm sliced off, and then he gets decapitated with one. So, I mean, obviously, those things can fucking end you quick. So, I don't know. Maybe because he's just an older guy, put him down. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? For the movie's, or for the actor's sake, not the movie's sake, you know what I mean? But, anyway. And, well, the female rookie, she's dual-wielding it, right? She's got dual pistols. She's killing them all, and she's dodges a couple of fucking blades, and then all of a sudden she pops her head up, and she gets her head locked off. So she's gone. And then at the same time, Jason Statham, he runs out of ammo, and he's starting to fight with it, like, as a club, and he gets overwhelmed, and he gets killed. So Jason Statham gets killed in this movie, you know, for real, not like Crank, where he just comes back. Anyway, I don't know, how many movies has he died in? Like, for real died in. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But, yeah, he gets fucking straight up murdered in this. That's, it's interesting. I thought that was interesting when I saw it. I'm like, damn. So then who is left is, well, the other guy on the train, the other conductor guy on the train, he's fighting off the things, too. Like, he's leaning out of the train, like, shooting, whatever. I don't even remember. But he catches a blade to the throat. And he dies. You know, but he had one of the better better looking deaths, to be honest, because I think it was practical effects. You know, it's just the throat opens up and, you know, I thought that was good. Anyway, I don't know why. That one stuck out to me because it wasn't just a CGI blade cutting a head off. But those didn't look bad, though. The CG doesn't look awful when it comes down to the decapitations. At least, you know, the way I watch. I'm sure if you watch it on your big-ass fucking TV in 4K, it'd probably look a lot goofier. But, well, now it's just Natasha and Ice Cube trying to get away from the nuclear blast. But as they're trying to get away, 2 of the things made it onto the train. And Natasha's up by the controls, like, driving the train now. And she could have just, like, left the door closed. But she kept hearing, like, the door to the outside, like, a scratching. So she just opens the door, and obviously it was one of those things. So now she has a fight. And she's kind of injured, too. She took a blade to the leg. So she's a little, you know, handicapped. Because, like, throughout the movie, she's pretty capable. She's, you know, knows martial arts, does the spin kicks and all that shit. So, you know, she's established as being very capable of her, you know, very capable, I guess. So it's a little, so there's like that little end fight with her and the random thing, while Ice Cube is going back to another train that has a bunch of dynamite on it, and he's gonna put one of those, he's gonna, you know, blow it up essentially. I'm trying to like I pause right now because I'm just like, why? I can't remember why he was gonna go and like disconnect. He was gonna like set it to blow up and then go back and then disconnect the car from the main part from the main engine, right? But before he's about to like disconnect the train, that's when Bargain Bin Dollar Store Marilyn Manson comes out, or steroid Marilyn Manson. There you go. I mean, like, he's roided out. I guess he's supposed to be big. You know, he's supposed to be really big. Like they refer to him as the big guy, but it's just like he's not really that big. He's slightly bigger than average. But you know, if the movie were made today, he would probably be like the size of the guy that played the Mountain in Game of Thrones. But anyway, him and Ice Cube have a final battle where Ice Cube just easily handles him. You know, like the leader of this tribe is not very good, not very strong. So like Ice Cube beats him up, throws him into the other fucking train, onto the train that or the train car that he's gonna disconnect, and then he disconnects it, and then you know the guy as they're spreading or getting further apart, you know the fucking lead Martian guy is fucking rah, yelling like an idiot as the fucking train explodes. Like I honestly can't remember why he just I mean, oh, I think what it was is he was gonna disconnect the train maybe to for the weight, you know, so they can move a little bit faster away from the nuclear blast. But then why go through the trouble of blowing it up? Maybe because they thought that there were aliens like on that train. Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember. Golly, man, holy shit. Well, the movie's like pretty much in like the last act or whatever, you know what I mean? So what it is like now she's in a bunk where you know you see her in the very beginning of the movie handcuffed, and he's stitching up her leg. Yeah, the cut in her leg, you know, and like taking care of her and all that. And as she's trusting him, he's got her hand. He's got his, you know, they're holding hands. He's standing up and he handcuffs her to like a handrail that's like by the I don't know, fucking by the bed. I don't know. And then and then he's just like, you're not taking me in. He's like, I'm not getting locked up, because that's the whole purpose, was they were supposed to get him from that mining town, bring him back to the city so he can face, you know, consequences for all the murders. So the entire time he's thinking about how he's gonna get the fuck away, and you know he got his chance and he got away. So now it's like sometime later, right? She's sleeping, and then all of a sudden like shit starts to hit the fan. She's hearing stuff. You know, she wakes up, gets her pants on, gets her coat on, and you hear someone coming to the door. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, it's gonna be Ice Cube with his guns, and he's gonna be like, come on, we gotta get shit going. And I was more of like a joke in my head, and that's exactly what fucking happens. He's just like, the tide is rising, like it's a thing in the movie, like it's a saying. The tide's rising, like shit's hitting the fan. We gotta go. So like they pretty much agree to fight side by side to get out of the city, and that's where the movie ends. It ends with like the nuclear bomb did not kill the things. Oh yeah, the bomb did go off. I skipped through that. I figured that's implied. The bomb went off, though everything was all of that. The human hosts were at least vaporized. I mean, you don't see it, but it's implied. But then the spirits, like, what are you gonna do with the spirits? You know, like to me, like this is a never-ending battle against something that you can't take out. You know, it's like, oh, we gotta take the planet. This isn't their planet anymore. I think they say at one point. You know, it's about dominion, I think she says. So it's just like, I don't think you could dominate something that can't be dominated. You know, like it can't. Like these are paranormal entities. You know, like I don't know, unless you can get like some sort of Martian shaman that can fucking, like, I don't know, exercise him. I don't think there's really much you could do about it. But I like the ending because it was corny as fuck. You know, he like breaks into her room. He's like, let's go, let's get it going. Like, how did he know where she was? It all just was perfect. I don't know. It's that perfect ending to, like, it's that is the perfect ending for that movie, in my opinion. Like, because, you know, when you're watching it, you're just like, a nuclear blast ain't gonna fucking kill ghosts. And then, sure shit, it doesn't insult your intelligence in that way of, like, you know, I don't know. It's funny. For as basic as it is, it's a good movie. It melds the action and the horror together, but it's not really too scary. So if you're interested, it's way more of an action movie for sure. But I guess in conclusion, I like it. I know what I know what it is. It's not supposed to be like this big, giant, fucking huge budget Hollywood, whatever, yada yada. It's a John Carpenter movie, you know. So, and it's a 2001 John Carpenter movie. So it's just like, it's hit or miss. It's technically his worst movie, I think. Like technically, his worst movie, but it's not even, I haven't watched all of his movies, so it might be, I might find ones that like I really like. I don't know. There's that one, The Ward, I might watch. I heard that that one wasn't that great. I think I've seen it before, but I heard that that one wasn't really that good. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a bunch of his movies. I gotta like fine tune this a little bit. I kind of like space out, or not really space out, but like I guess forget some of the timelines in this jumpy ass movie. I mean, I think it's just the movie because it jumped around like it did. It kind of confused me, but who cares? This isn't some fucking highly produced, fucking highly researched and edited or scripted rather, because I don't script this shit. This is just chill, and yeah. If you stuck around this long, I really appreciate you. So, yeah, anyway, I don't know. What's your favorite John Carpenter movie? Are you playing Toxic Commando? But anyway, I'll stop ranting and rambling and let you get on with your day or night. If you would just please consider doing all the things that YouTube likes and that I appreciate very, very much. Thank you so much for hanging out. It really does mean the world to me. You have a good one, and I will catch you on the next one.